I would like to make a special request to those who haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet. Please do subscribe now, and if you enjoy the story, don't forget to like, comment and share. Now we'll move on to today's story. We hope you enjoy it. Let's begin. I'm reading it exactly as it was written. Dear listeners, I am Faria. I hope you are all doing well. I live abroad. I heard this story from one of my friends. One day, while we were chatting over tea and the topic of ghosts came up, he shared this terrifying incident from his life. I'm going to present it in his own words. We were hanging out at a tea stall. There were 5 of us: Sagar, Riyad, Sumon, Poltu, and me, Adib. We were making plans about where to go for the Eid holidays. Suddenly, Riyad said, "Bro, if I don't visit Kashmir once before I die, my life will be meaningless." "Bro, you just said exactly what I was thinking!" Sumon agreed excitedly. The rest of the group also perked up. I said, "Not a bad idea. Let's go this vacation then." Everyone agreed. We finalized our plan. 3 days after Eid, our dream tour began. Mission Kashmir. All of us were incredibly excited. With dreams in our eyes, we took off by air. After a long journey, we landed in Srinagar. The moment we stepped out of the plane, it was like we were re-energized. From there, we hired a car and set off to find a hotel in Gulmarg. About an hour and a half later, we arrived. The whole town was wrapped in a blanket of mist. Tall trees lined both sides of the road, making it feel almost dreamlike. We could barely contain our excitement. As we drove, my eyes fell on a massive wooden mansion. It looked exactly like a dream house. I told the driver, "Sir, please stop for a moment. This looks like a hotel." "Yes, but..." The driver hesitated. "It looks expensive. Let's check somewhere else." Riyad said, "Come on, man. Let's at least have a look." Sagar added, "Wow, this is beautiful." When I looked to the right, I saw Poltu had already gotten out of the car. The driver said in Hindi, "Wait, this hotel may not be the best option. Let me take you somewhere else." Poltu came near my ear and whispered, "Don't you get it? He's hoping for commission from the other hotel. It's a scam." "Driver by, please wait here. We'll just take a quick look," I said. "Sumon, you stay in the car. We'll be right back." With that, we walked toward the dreamlike mansion. As we passed the huge gate, the deeper we went, the more enchanted we became. "Dude, if we don't stay here, life is meaningless," Poltu said while walking. "You're right," Riyad nodded. After walking a fair distance, the 4 of us reached the lobby, but the moment we stepped inside, we were a bit disappointed. There was no one else, no tourists, no guests. A man with a grim expression was sitting at the reception desk. He glanced at us, his brow slightly furrowed. I approached and asked, "Do you have any rooms?" The receptionist scanned me from head to toe, then said, "How many of you? 5? Yes, we have rooms. Regular room is 2,000 rupees, duplex room is 20,000 rupees. Poltu and Sumon jumped in joy. But when I heard the price, a sudden cloud of suspicion began to gather in my mind.
How can such a beautiful hotel be so cheap? I couldn't quite decide if I should be happy or suspicious. I pulled Riyad aside and asked him quietly, "Hey, doesn't this feel off to you? How can the rent for a hotel like this be so low? Something doesn't feel right. let's just leave and look somewhere else. What if they rob us blind later? Oof, you're always so negative about everything, Riyadh snapped back. Come on, let's go get the luggage. Opportunities like this don't come every day, my friend. Saying that, he grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the car. As we stepped out, Sumon asked, "What happened, man?" "We're staying here," Riyadh said. Sumon lit up with happiness and began unloading the bags from the car. I paid the driver and said, "Pai, please save my number. If we need the car again, I'll call you. I'm sure we'll see each other soon." The driver gave a strange, mocking smile and replied, "I'm sure we will." Then the 5 of us started walking back toward the building. After completing all the formalities, we sat in the lobby waiting. After a while, someone from room service arrived and said, "Please come, your room is ready." Like obedient children, we followed him, heading deeper into our dream palace. From the outside, the place looked magnificent, but the room we were led to was surprisingly plain. It was also quite far from the main lobby. The furniture, especially the wooden cot, hinted that once upon a time this place was luxurious, but now, due to the passage of time and lack of care, its condition had clearly deteriorated. As I stepped into the room, my eyes were drawn to the carpet. It seemed to be placed to cover the damaged wooden floor. In the right-hand corner, there was a massive hole. It looked like a snake's burrow. Just looking at it sent a chill down my spine. And it wasn't just me noticing all this. The others, too, seemed to have lost a bit of their excitement. "Man, this is not what it looked like from outside," someone finally broke the silence.
Someone said if we had known we should have checked the room first. Now they've taken a 3-day advance payment. I asked, shocked. "You paid for 3 days in advance?" "Why didn't you just pay for 1 day?" I scolded him. "You never change," Polto responded with irritation. "Why are you blaming me? I gave the money in front of you all. You didn't say anything then." Riyadh snapped a little. Forget it. What's done is done." "Honestly, the room's not that bad," he added. "Besides, have you seen how beautiful it is outside? It's like paradise. Time will fly by here." Saga's words seemed to comfort everyone. We were all quite tired, so we ordered food to the room. After eating, we spent the entire afternoon resting in bed. I must have fallen asleep without realizing it. Suddenly, I woke up to Polto's scream. I jumped out of bed, my heart pounding. "What happened?" I asked. Polto silently pointed to something. I followed his finger and saw a huge rat crawling down his bed sheet. It scurried across the floor and slipped into that same hole in the corner. Seeing that, all of us screamed and jumped up onto the beds. "What a bunch of cowards!" someone yelled. "Are you seriously screaming over a rat?" Sagar said. "If there are rats in here, snakes could also be lurking around. There's a jungle outside." Polto added nervously, "Oh, come on. You think they're laying eggs inside?" Sagar said sarcastically, but his face showed that he wasn't entirely comfortable either. Evening had already fallen by then. We stepped out to walk around the hotel grounds. Time flew as we wandered. Eventually, we came back and walked around the hotel lobby for a while. Then all of us sat down on a bench to take some pictures. The moment we hit the button on the phone camera, thud! Something heavy dropped behind us. We were terrified. We rushed to look but found absolutely nothing. Still, the sound had clearly come from something heavy falling. Everyone fell silent. Then Suman suddenly shouted, "Guys, this drum wasn't here when we came earlier." He checked one of the photos on his phone. "There, look at this picture. There was no drum here before." "What are you saying?" I asked. "How would a drum fall from the sky? Besides, it's just filled with dry leaves." "When it fell, didn't you notice the leaves flying everywhere?" "Those leaves probably just got blown around by the wind," I argued.
I swear I've brought a bunch of fools on this trip, I muttered in frustration. Still, deep down, even I knew I hadn't seen that drum earlier either, but I didn't say it out loud. Maybe I was just imagining it? Then I said, "Let's go for a walk in the forest. I've been wanting to do that for a long time." "No, man, I'm not going. You all go ahead. I'll stay in the room," said Sumon. Polto teased, "If you stay in the room, the rats will get you." We all laughed at that. Then we left through the main gate and headed toward the jungle. It was pitch dark all around. Behind us stood a massive, snow-covered mountain. There was a strange kind of wind, something unsettling and magical. I had never seen a jungle look so beautiful. There was a mysterious, sweet fragrance in the air. Bathed in that aroma, the 5 of us kept walking ahead. The deeper we went, the more enchanted we became. Suddenly, a mountain dog joined us. When I reached out and gently patted its head, it began walking along with us, actually a little ahead, as if it was guiding us. We walked a little further and found a fallen tree. We all sat on it. Behind us loomed the mountains and forest, and in front the pale moonlight lit up the trees. In the distance we could hear the sounds of insects, unfamiliar, strange and wild. Among those sounds we began to hear another one, deeper, scarier, almost beast-like. At that moment the mountain dog quietly came and sat near our feet. It wasn't relaxed. Its alert eyes scanned the darkness, as if guarding us. We all sensed something wasn't right, but no one said a word. Saga softly hummed a tune. Riyad and Sumon were arguing with Polto over a lighter for a cigarette. And I just gazed around in awe. The moon was out and, despite the thick darkness, everything was strangely visible. It felt unreal. But that beautiful moment didn't last long. Suddenly, the wind stopped. Everything became eerily silent, tense. With a jolt, the dog stood up. Its eyes scanned the shadows, frightened, alert. Then it looked behind us and started barking wildly. It had seen something. I felt a wave of cold fear crash through my chest. And then again, thud, a loud, heavy sound from right behind us. We all froze, then slowly turned around to look. It was the same drum, the same one from earlier, now lying just behind us again. We stared at each other, terrified. No one said a word. Then, out of nowhere, a strong gust of wind began to spiral toward us, like a miniature cyclone. Without warning, the dog bolted and disappeared. We all screamed and jumped to our feet, but something was wrong. We couldn't move. It was like our feet were frozen in place. We all began reciting Ayat-ul-Kursi and started walking forward, but none of us let go of each other's hands. We held on tightly and ran toward the hotel with all our might. A powerful wind picked up, as if trying to pull us backward. Somehow we managed to make it inside the hotel gate, barely escaping with our lives. But we had no idea that something even more terrifying was waiting for us in the room. We ran upstairs, unlocked the room door, and went to turn on the light, only to see a woman hanging from the ceiling fan. Screaming in horror, we all ran out of the room. It felt like we were about to faint. We rushed to the lobby and told them everything, but they said it was just a trick of our imagination. What? All of us saw it wrong?
Are you kidding us? Sagar shouted angrily. Bring our bags from the room and give us a refund. We're not staying here for even one more second, I yelled, trembling in fear and anger. But the man at the reception spoke so calmly, as if nothing had happened. He firmly refused to refund any money. Riyadh said, "We don't need the money, just go get our bags." Paltu, call the driver. Paltu called, and the driver arrived within 5 to 7 minutes. I looked at the clock. It was 1 a.m. We loaded our bags into the car. I said, "Driver, bye. Please take us somewhere else." The driver turned his head and looked at us. "It would have been better not to leave so late at night," he said. "Let's spend the night in the car. We'll leave at dawn." In just a few moments, our entire life seemed to change. We couldn't even process what had happened. Breaking the silence, the driver said, "I was nearby because I knew you'd need me." We all stared at him in shock and fear. "Wait, you knew? What do you mean?" I stammered. "Everyone who's stayed here has experienced something. That's why I warned you earlier not to stay in this hotel. This place is cursed. Everyone around here knows it, but people from outside don't." "Cursed?" we asked. "Yes. A couple came here on their honeymoon a long time ago. The hotel owner also tried hard to cover up the incident. But what happened? He couldn't hide it, could he? Anyway, tell me what exactly happened to you all," the driver asked. But no one answered him. No one had the strength to respond. We all sat there in complete silence, like statues. That night felt like it would never end. It was the most terrifying night of our lives. Even now, whenever I think about it, it sends chills down my spine. With that, he ended the story. Then, for the first time again, he added, "After that, for the rest of our days in Kashmir, nothing else happened. But due to a riot, we got stuck there for several more days. Once the situation improved, we all returned home. But what was meant to be the best tour of our lives turned into the most horrifying one." Adib took the final sip from his cup of tea and said, "Let's go now. I've got some work to do today." People say the woman committed suicide in one of the rooms, hanging from the ceiling fan. But there were signs of torture on her body. It was murder. Her husband did it. He beat her and then staged it as a suicide. There was even a case, but the man got off scot-free, the son of a rich father. And now the spirit of that poor woman, her soul, still wanders here, never at peace.